Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Vaughn with CCM, and I am here with Jeremy and Addie Camp. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, how are
Good. How are
you?
you?
I'm doing well. How's California right now?
Hot.
Amazing.
It's
Yeah.
amazing when it's hot right now. It's like 102 today or something like
Yeah,
that. But it's beautiful.
Nice, nice. Do you have a pool that you can go jump into if you need to?
we do.
Oh yeah.
And
Big
how
time.
are y'all handling the stay-at-home orders right now? How are the kids doing?
It's not been too bad for us. We're a homeschool family,
Oh,
so that part of life wasn't a big adjustment. The biggest adjustment, I think, is obviously not being able to see people. So they've been missing their
Yeah.
friends. And then, like Zoom and all of that stuff has become a big part of our social life, I guess.
Yeah.
But we're doing all right. We're enjoying the downtime together as a family, with days of feeling a little bit like you're going to lose your mind.
Yeah.
Somebody may not survive the day, but
I'll see
Well,
if that happens.
yeah, I think it's sometimes for me because I should have been on tour and we were going to be promoting, the movie and the book going out and doing things. So I think a little bit of that's difficult because I love interacting with people and being
Yeah.
there and just sharing the things that God's done. And so it's been hard because I'm a people person as well. So to not have that accessibility is difficult. And so, but there's so many other crazy things going on right now and people are actually suffering. And so, for me, it's going, okay, I'm going to count my blessings that my family's healthy. We're here together, able to spend a lot of time together. You know what I mean? So count my blessings for sure.
Yeah. Well, we last talked on the red carpet in Nashville for the I Still Believe premiere, and I think that was just a few days before the entire world felt like it shut down.
Yeah.
so
At
crazy.
that point, you were the #1 movie in the world or in the country.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, I think that it was bittersweet because I think I kind of knew. For one, it was shocking. I didn't know that we would be the #1 movie on Friday. It was kind of, it was that day just going, oh, this is insane. But I think it was the up and down emotion going, what's going to happen? You have this excitement, but everything's going to be shut down. So it's going to be short lived. But, I think for me, it was one of those things where I really, after the weekend hit, I went through a definite fog of like, what just happened? Because, you have 2 years of blood, sweat, and tears of doing this movie. And, everything was going really, really well. It was exciting. And, they declared a global pandemic. So the two things that would have stopped, a movie from kind of going would be a world war probably and a global pandemic. And so to have like the global pandemic happen, it was like, wow, those are the two things that probably would have stopped it. And so it definitely was a reshift of just going, okay, Lord, I have to really, really believe, because if we believe in his sovereignty, which we do, I have to really trust in his sovereignty and that he is in control and he has a plan for this. And so it was an adjustment for me for sure. Yeah. And I think the great thing about it is in the midst of kind of the up and down emotions, I had one day where I kind of lost it. I just wept, to be honest. I'm like, because I think there's so much heart and soul that goes into it in warfare that you just kind of felt it. Finally, it kind of like relented a little bit and just went, oh, there it was. But I think, I really woke up one morning and God gave me a song and it was called Whatever May Come. And just basically saying, I will call upon you whenever, every heartbreak, you're with me, all these different things, you're with me. And so it's just this, a healing time for me going, okay, Lord, whatever I may face, I'm going to trust you. And I think that has kind of been the theme of this. Whatever comes, Lord, are we going to actually live out what we believe? The scriptures that we all love, in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And I love that scripture, but are we really going to live it out? Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. That was a huge one. Like, I don't understand, but acknowledge him and he'll direct you. He'll show you, I don't know. We're not going to maybe see the full scope of things sometimes, until we get to heaven. But the trust factor has to be there no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. So in the midst of all of this, you re-released your memoir, which was of the same title as the movie, I Still Believe. And Addie, did you recently put out a kid's book?
Yes.
Yeah. And my girls and I wrote a children's book together about their trip to Uganda that Jeremy actually took them on.
Okay.
And the heart of the book is just for kids to understand that God can use them. They don't have to have it all together. Doesn't matter what skin color you are, where you come from, that every single life is that God can use, So, and then we did the marriage book together as well in Unison.
It's been quite a busy season.
Yeah.
To say the least.
So how is In Unison doing? And I would love to hear more about the background of that book and who the book is targeted for.
Yeah. So, first of all, it's exciting because we're getting a lot of people. We're doing, I mean, 6 to 8 hours of interviews a week, and talking about the book and doing these podcasts. It's been really sweet because people are very much responding in a positive way. But the book's it's a marriage book. And so, you have to, I think if you just look at the title, it doesn't really explain exactly, but I think that's kind of the mystery of it. Even the cover of it is kind of this us on stage and this one light shining upon us, and it's just kind of a mysterious thing. But you dig into it, and it's a marriage book. And it wasn't like we felt like that we had the perfect marriage. Like, oh my goodness, we've got it all together, so let's tell the world how to have a good marriage, perfect marriage. That wasn't the case. We just felt like that, it was laid on our heart from the Lord, I believe, to write this book. I think because we have so many people in our lives and friends that have gotten divorced, and it's been very difficult to watch. And a lot of times when they come to us, it's almost like it's too late. Like it's not too late ever, but they come to you when their heart's already really hard, and they've already kind of made up their own mind. And so they'll come to you and start asking you questions. They don't really want to hear it. And so we thought if we could provide a tool for those couples that are, if you're single and getting ready for marriage, or if you're newly married, or if you're doing great in your marriage, but you want even more tools, we just felt like God laid in our heart to share what we've been through. And we're very transparent. It's not like we were candy coating anything. It was
not at all.
Times where she would say, when I didn't like Jeremy at this moment, I had to pray the Lord ask me to give me a love for him supernaturally. It's a very transparent book. And I think that, hopefully it's an encouragement to married couples, and we've had lots of great responses and encouragement. So I'm excited about it, for sure.
Well, we just found, that we've learned so much from other couples that have been authentic with us and honest with us. And oftentimes I think there is this sort of thought that people in leadership or, people in the public eye do have it all together. And, well, surely they don't struggle with anything. And it's like, no, we totally do. We have major moments where we've, butted heads and had conflict that we didn't know how we were going to resolve. And so it's just sort of going, we just want to help anybody that's willing to listen, of going, we're not saying we've got it figured out, or even that the way that we've learned is the only way, but just going, these are just some of the tools that we've picked up along the way just to help people,
Because really, they're all biblical principles. It's basically saying that you cannot do your marriage without Jesus. That's the whole thing. And that's the truth. And so I think the whole thing is, when you read this book, it's filled with scriptures, filled with prayer, filled with things that are deep. It's not just, here's a couple ideas. It's like, nope, you cannot do marriage without Jesus. Period.
So you said you've been writing music through all of this. How many songs have you written so far?
3 so far. Which is pretty, for me, it's pretty good for, this kind of short amount of time, because I like to, if I'm going to write, it's got to be completely from my heart. But we actually right now, the fun thing about it right now is we're working on a worship EP that's coming out in June. So
well, we
don't hope in June, but we're working on it right now because, I've been inspired during this time. And so, and I really, we've been doing a lot more things together, and we do worship a lot together anyway. And we're doing it even more, even like we did a live worship night via Facebook and Instagram and live. And it was such a rad time just to encourage others and just to do worship and prayer and to share things. And we had a really huge response. And so I just realized that people are just hungry. We want to be available to share what God's done. And so with this, kind of EP, it's just kind of a continuation of what we've been doing anyway.
So as songwriters, I would love to know from both of you, what's your favorite lyric that you've ever written?
Oh, man.
Wow.
That's a really difficult, because I got to think of like 130 songs.
I know.
So I don't actually know. I think there's a lyric in the song "This Man" that I wrote that said, "The crown that showed no dignity he wore." And I think there's just something that is just going, for them it was a mockery. But, Jesus being the King of Kings and Lord of Lords can be like, I don't want that. You don't have to mock me. I'm going to die on the cross, but don't mock me. And he's like, no, I'm going to wear this crown that wasn't, it was a mockery of him being the King of the Jews, as they were mocking him. And even though he was like, it's okay, because I'm going to bear all of this to show that my love for you is so great.
Addie, do you have one?
I don't. I actually just can't think of anything right now that comes to mind.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
I know. Half the time it's a miracle if I even remember the lyrics of the songs anyway.
I think I've only had one person actually be able to give me something right off the top of their head, but I always pick your brain and see.
Yeah,
so,
it's like, yeah.
If there was a song that has been written that you didn't write but wish you did, which one would it be?
The first one that comes to mind is there's a Sarah Reeves song. There's a couple of hers actually, but one of the lines that she writes is, "I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you." And I thought, gosh, if I wanted to write a song, that would be a song that I wish that I would have written. It's a beautiful song. You've got to check it out.
Okay.
I would think, for me, that's a good question. One song I love, I don't know what there is about it, but we sang it together last year at Easter. The song "Forever." Forever you're lifted high, he is alive. There's some that just gets me in that song. I'm going, oh my word, it's just so powerful, because it's a worship song saying forever you're lifted high, he is alive. And it's just this understanding of like, man, the resurrection and the life that he brings. And so I don't know, that's one of the songs that I love.
If y'all could give a message of hope to our viewers, what would you want to tell them?
I think the wealth of what God can offer us really is unending. And I don't mean that when it comes to possessions, but just the peace that our hearts crave for, the joy that our hearts crave for, the healing that we need, that his well never, ever, ever runs dry. And so it doesn't matter who you are, I think sometimes we put these limitations on ourselves that we have to have it all together to approach God. But God is so infinite and so big that he can handle all of us. And just this beautiful exchange that he gives us, it's like joy for our mourning in a sense, and just these incredible things that he gives us in exchange for our pain. It's the most bizarrest thing, because we always think of a gift as like, I'm going to give you something beautiful and you give me something beautiful in return. And literally the Lord says, give me all your junk and I'm going to give you something beautiful in return.
Yeah. I think, there's that question.
There's so much.
There's so much that God's kind of shown me during this time, but something simple that I just wanted to share and been trying to share is, I think I was doing an interview one time and it kind of popped in my head and just going, this with all of us, a lot of us are just trying to get through the quarantine right now. Like, let's just get through it. And I really feel like that's not the right attitude. It's, God, how can you get through to me during this quarantine? Because I think that, we want to go back to normal. And I think God's saying, I want to do a whole new normal in your life.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's kind of the challenge of going, okay, God, I don't want to get back to normal. Like, what are you teaching me during this time, so that when I get back to a normal routine, I guess you could say, that my mindset's differently, my motives are different, all those different things pertaining to what you've taught me during this, because I've been willing to say, God, speak to me through this. And I think that's a huge thing. And also too, just understanding that, I was sharing this so much, but it's so key, is that we have to understand that God is very aware of what we're going through. He's not all of a sudden gone, what happened? I better take care of this. I didn't know this was going to happen.
Yeah.
He was very aware of it. And he also has constantly reminded us in his word in John 16:33. I love that scripture, because he says, I say these things to you that you will have peace. In this world, you will face trials of many kinds. He's saying, guys, we live in a fallen world. You're going to have trials, and they rejected me, so they're going to reject you. And whatever that may look like, you live in a fallen world. But he said, but take heart, I've overcome the world. And I think that, the understanding of going, I've prepared you for this. You know what I mean? Even though that sometimes we don't feel prepared, we have that spirit within us that has given us all the preparation we need. We just need to tap into that. It's already within us. He goes, Romans 8:11 says that same power, that same spirit that rose Jesus from the grave lives within us. So we do have that in us. We just need to tap into it. And so I think that, understanding, okay, God, you have given us all that we need to deal with all these situations, that this quarantine and some people losing jobs, literally some people losing their family members. Yeah. It's serious, but he's given us all that we need to handle it, because he's overcome the world.
So true. Addie, Jeremy, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us here at CCM. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
awesome.
Anytime.